All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to be talking about gear and gear list. I just want to tell you straight off from the get-go that I'm not an ultralight hiker. I wasn't really ounce pinching. I used what I had on hand. Um, I'd also like to note that at one point in time I was sponsored by Mountain Hardwear, and that's why I have some Mountain Hardwear gear. I'm no longer affiliated with them or anybody for that matter. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. I also like to say that I'm a very avid desert hiker. I'm very comfortable in the desert, so not everything I say or carried with me will pertain specifically to you. Um, and I'm not going to review products. I'm only going to tell you what I carried and why I carried it. Short and simple and sweet. Okay, so let's start. Big three. My big three were backpack. I had an Osprey 48 liter exos. Um, Reason I had this backpack, I love the frame option. On this trail, you're gonna have to carry more water than you will on most other trails. So having a framed backpack I thought was advantageous for that. Another reason is I shred backpacks and everything that I own. So the warranty on Osprey backpacks is incredibly amazing for the price. So lifetime warranty there. All right, tent. I'm gonna have I had the Mountain Hardwear Ghost UL1. That tent weighed 2 pounds and 14 ounces. I had that because I was sponsored by Mountain Hardwear. I also had a Mountain Hardwear Phantom Ghost 15-degree sleeping bag down. That's 2.5 pounds. Once again, I had that because I was sponsored by Mountain Hardwear, so I wasn't purchasing or anything. It was what I had. Sleeping system. I used a thermorest zlite sleeping pad, which weighs about 14.5 ounces. The reason I use a pad opposed to a inflatable sleeping system is because everything in Arizona is sharp. You will get punctures unless you have a very, very thick sleeping blow up pad, inflatable pad. You will get a puncture and you will be spending time trying to figure out where the hole is. The problem with that is you don't really come across water too often on the Arizona Trail, so submerging your pad and trying to identify where the hole is could very well become a big problem for you. I used a Cedar Summit Aeros Premium pillow, 2.7 ounces. Want to be comfortable, so that's why I brought that. Tent stakes, MSR mini groundhogs. You know, I've seen a lot of people use a lot of stakes because of the Arizona desert land. A lot of stakes bend, fail, don't hold. So this is a reason that I chose the MSR mini groundhogs. I've never had a problem. Pretty much everybody that I've hiked with who was tent camping chose to switch out whatever tent stakes they had at that time for MSR mini groundhogs because of that problem. Cook system. I had an 1100 milliliter titanium toaks pot and lid. That's what I had laying around, so that's what I used. Light My Fire titanium spork. Same category. It's what I had laying around. For a stove, I used a BRS 3000. I got this stove because it was the cheapest stove that I could find on Amazon. Ironically, it ended up being the lightest, weighing in at, I think, 28 grams, around an ounce, somewhere like that. Water system. I carried two 1.5 liter smart water bottles and two 1 liter smart water bottles. I thought it was important to have a lot of water on the stretch from Flagstaff to Tucson. It's pretty dry there. There are some water caching places, so you could have water cache there, but that was kind of why I carried a lot of water. Then also the lower parts of the desert, and I spent a lot more time in the Grand Canyon than most people do. Every time that I've done the AZT, I've spent 3 or 4 days in the canyon, so you need to have a large water carry. I used a Sawyer squeeze. The water in Arizona can be very silty, so I would also, pre-filter that with a buff that would clean out some of the bigger stuff, and then I would filter it from there. Food storage. I had a zpacks large food storage bag. I think it's Dyneema, weighs like nothing. Clothes. I chose pants with zip-off bottoms, and the main reason is because the Mazatals can be very, very, very rough to hike through, and the Four Peaks Wilderness can be very rough to hike through. And everything in Arizona, as I said, is sharp, so having a little bit extra protection on your legs, I thought was great, and it also gave me sun coverage when I needed that. Yeah, so a buff. I brought a buff as well, and some Under Armour gloves, and then I also had a Frogg Toggs Extreme UL jacket. That was my warm gear. When it was cold, I was in my sleeping bag. I never had an issue, but I run hot, so choose your own battle, hike your own hike. I had a Duece of spades. That was maybe not the best choice, but it's what I had. I didn't really find anything that was really good to dig into the ground. I had a couple friends that were using tent stakes, so you could utilize that maybe. 10,000 milliamp hour Anchor battery, the slim, that's what I had. And the last piece of gear that I really want to talk about is the sunbrella. So sunbrella, I never really leave home without it being an Arizona hiker, but unless you're going to be still hiking, I should say, into April or May northbound or September southbound, I don't think it's really necessary to carry one. But, I think everybody needs to make that decision up for themselves, but I didn't think it was necessary for that. You carry one unless you truly feel like you need sun protection. Like I said, I carry one everywhere only because I'm from Arizona, but if you're looking to cut weight, that would be it. What I used was a Six Moons design Silver Shadow, and that's the collapsible short. The last thing I want to talk about is the tent. The last 2 times that I did it, I did a lot more of cowboy camping, and I considered to not even bring a tent. I was glad that I did because it will rain or snow on you, but a tarp tent would be fine, I think, for most hikers, especially if you're a pole hiker. Anyways, yeah, so that's the wrap, y'all. I really appreciate your time and all the support and everything like that. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Slap a like, hit that subscribe, and make sure you comment. Thanks again. See you out there, guys. Cheers.